morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
How's this thing going? Can you hear me?
First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All right. Check. How you doing over there?
Man, I'm all right. We up in this thing. Come on in and grab a seat, y'all.
Live at 85. You sounding good?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Y'all tell us how we looking, how we sounding.
Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. The tech is working this morning. How about that?
Man.
On a Monday, too. Thanks for joining us. You're listening to First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He is Buddi3 Da Gawd.
Hey.
And welcome to all the chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners joining us this morning on Monday, March 18th, 2024. Another fresh edition.
Man, already the 18th.
Yeah, be coming around quick these days.
Man, yeah.
Time. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Man, speaking of time, a little tired this morning. Yeah, time kind of snuck up on me like, oh, already. But we're here. Definitely feeling good. Always excited to be here. Always glad to talk to the peoples. All my First Guy fam, all the ghost listeners, all the chat chimers. Come on in and grab a seat. Yeah, feeling good, man. Feeling good. Despite maybe needing a siesta a little later on. Had a pretty decent weekend. Cleaned the house.
Okay.
Yeah, got on some like yeah, a little. I guess you could say that it wasn't necessarily the intent, but the house just needed to be clean, man. Got some early morning Saturday morning jams and that kind of vibe. Just,
Nice.
Yeah. Then had some dinner with the fam. So yeah, feeling good, man. Feeling good. How about yourself?
Yeah. I've been a little under the weather this weekend, so yeah, just trying to hang in there, get healthy, stay from getting too sick.
Man, health as well.
But that's about. Other than that, not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay.
It was a pretty decent weekend. So just kind of like laid low and got to try to knock some work out and chilled out a little bit and just just try to, like I said, just try to stay on top of the health.
Yeah, man. Yeah, health is wealth, man. Health is wealth. Got a lot of things to go. Yeah, I guess it does so happen to be the change of the seasons where you kind of getting hit with it, man. I know you one of them one people I know that's always dealing with the sinus stuff and tis the season, y'all. Tis the season. What do you kind of do to? What are your some of your remedies, man?
It's a long story. I stay on some allergy pills, neti pot, diet, all the things combined. Just really try to. Also, the spring cleaning helps too. When you de-dust your house.
Okay.
Then it's a good time to do that because after the winter time it gets pretty layered. So yeah, just that's it, man. Just trying to stay clean and healthy is all you can really do. And then just try to stay on top of it. Local honey, every little trick you can think of to keep the allergies at bay. So yeah,
change your air filters.
That's absolutely. It comes like this. Definitely happens more frequently in my house than other houses.
Man, speaking of the bee, man, I did see the local bee guy. I forget his name. I always see that brother around, but he's actually on the hunt for some bees. So if anybody, if anybody has like a bee problem at their home, you got a nest in your front door or in your back door when you try to take your trash out or something, it's causing some, discomfort in your home. Yeah, reach out.
Yeah. I think we put that article in Friends of. Speaking of Friends, just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that's coming in this morning. Appreciate you getting up early with us. Kimber Snipes gives us a good morning, y'all. Marlon Harrison says good morning, First Guy family. Pop says good morning, Monday morning, and Mad from Love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you.
Peace, peace.
Mika Johnson in the house with some sunshine.
Hey.
And Wanda Lewis gives us a good morning too, letting us know the Facebook is working. So
Okay.
it looks like tech is checking right this morning. So appreciate that very much. Helps us, go ahead and get in where we fit in with that. Jurassic Clark.
Yeah, that's the B guy.
Oh, okay. I don't know his name was Jurassic Clark. That's it. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah.
I got him in my phone to somebody else.
He probably got him in there as B man.
No, no. It's the name of the company I can't think of right now. He named it after his daughter.
Yep, yep.
The honey company. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's cool dude. I gotta get with him for sure on some more stuff. Brother Pena's in the chat saying good morning. Appreciate you.
Hey.
Do us a favor, share the show if you're on Facebook and YouTube. You obviously are on Facebook and YouTube, so share the show if you would, so we can get as many people in talking as we can. And it is Monday, so it's kind of a men's Monday. We've been calling it around here.
Yeah.
We got Senator Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne coming in a little later. Also, hopefully, Brother Qasim and Brother Sherman Wells be in here as well. Didn't really get a chance to talk to them brothers this weekend, but we kind of got an understanding that they're going to come on Monday and give us little updates on some things. Lots of stuff happening. I don't know if you've been checking out Sherman's show, but
Man,
yeah.
Sunday sermon with Sherman.
Definitely check in on Sherman, man. He's keeping us up to date on a whole lot of things that's going on. Namely, more money to for the efforts to find Brother Blake,
Mhm.
which we'll be
Community
talking about.
stepping up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Roscoe Wallace in the chase says, "Good morning, dear brothers. Good morning.
Hey.
Saw your name in our in Omaha Northside News
Yeah,
recently
man. Yeah,
with the
congrats.
scholarship win. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we'll be talking about that as well. Congrats on that. And yeah, there's a lot going on. It seems like a very interesting news day today to me.
Really?
Yeah, there's a couple little things that's real relevant. Couple things happening that makes me think, people are listening to the show.
I'll just go say
Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna say is they watching.
Right.
Let's start the show.
Matter of fact, yeah, let's start the show. Listen to a fresh edition of First Guy Omaha Radio. First Guy Omaha in the morning,
In the morning.
Monday, March 18th,
Yeah, man.
2024. Let's get it. Welcome. Good morning. Fresh edition of First Guy
Hey.
Omaha Radio. First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Once again, Monday, March 18th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. Lots of things to talk about today. We're definitely going to get into it. I see Gwen Easter in the chat giving us a good morning. Good morning to you. Roscoe Wallace says, let's get together, brothers. I have a few wonderful updates on the work we're doing with our youth. All right.
Beautiful. Yeah, man.
I
That's
love the kids.
man. And plus, we need some successors around here, man. We need some people to, keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up. We gotta train the next generation, man. So definitely beautiful. Big shout out to not only, brother Roscoe Wallace, but everybody that was named as scholarship recipients doing the work with the youth. Even if you didn't get a scholarship, you out there working with the youth, working with the folk. Shout out to you.
Most def.
Yeah, man.
Mayor Sanchez says the best part of waking up is first guy in my cup. That's
Hey,
what's up.
or that drunk ship.
That's right. Yeah, thank you very much. Show as always, and the news briefs brought to you by Drunk Ship
Yeah,
Coffee.
man.
Like we said, we have a contest coming up that we're putting together in order for you to get some free bags of the coffee. So
Yeah, man.
yeah, full bean, straight from Ethiopia. Definitely get your grinder ready. If you're a coffee person, then you need to go ahead and step up on that anyway. And
Mhm.
yeah, shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee. But that's what's up, man. Appreciate that very much. Michelle Moreno is saying good morning, everyone, with some sunshine as well. Yeah, man. Yeah, lots to talk about today. So let's definitely dive in and see what we got going because we got a lot of guests coming in today. So we want to make sure
Yeah.
we give them some time.
What they calling it? The pulpit? The pulpit? Yeah, we got to roll it through today, man. So let's go ahead and talk about what we hopefully we'll get into because they watching, man. They watching, and it's a beautiful thing that And I don't know if y'all are feeling it, but I definitely am feeling the impact of our conversations here on the show,
Mhm.
and just how it's impacting and rolling out in real time in the news on many many levels, man. I don't know if anyone has caught it, but OHA has made a very interesting update. They have decided to stop evictions amid all of this hoopla that we've been kicking up, all this conversation that's been going on. So definitely, yeah. Hopefully, Brother Sherman Wells will be able to make it on this morning if he wasn't going too ham last night, having to recoup this morning. We can get him on and talk about it because he's definitely been active and on OHA's neck. Speaking of being on people's neck, Flatwater Free Press has been on the state's neck about trying to get some information. And again, we've been watching this closely. If you remember, there's a $40,000 bill that came along with some freedom of information requests. And yeah, Flatwater didn't like that. There's a subsequent lawsuit, and now it has made it all the way to the Supreme Court, who has made a decision. So yeah, also goes along with some things we've been talking about as far as the decline of local news outlets, just really, man, the decline of freedom of speech, if you ask me.
Mm.
Yeah, we'll definitely be getting into that. Also, in other news, looking at what's going on in the lead situation, very, very interesting. Speaking of news and local outlets, again, the city is pushing a project for, raising information on lead removal. We've been talking about this as well here on the show. And apparently, they forgot to approach any North Omaha outlets, not me, not us, not the Star, not William King. Nobody apparently got approached on trying to spread information about lead removal and homes. And quite ironically, North Omaha has just about the most properties with lead in it. So again, we'll be talking about that because the city is responding. And as always, there's other things to get into. We're definitely looking forward to speaking to the senators and our guests coming through. If there's anything on your hearts and minds that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat as well. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Everybody coming in, ghost listeners, chat chimers, everybody in here. Let's go. In the meantime, between time, Paul,
Yo,
what's the
yo.
word?
Kimber Snipes, man, is starting us off with some heavy. She said, "Let's talk about OHA. My father passed Friday night in the Evans Towers, and the elevators didn't work. I had to climb six flights of stairs to get to my dad."
Man,
First of all, our condolences, man.
yeah,
So sorry,
yeah,
Miss Snipes. She says, and the man who came to fix it said it's like that in all the towers.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, we definitely going to dive into this OHA situation, but yeah, so sorry to hear about your father, and yeah, this it's messed up. It's messed up how it's been our experience too. There's been times we had to go into the tower and do some stuff for when we put together Mind and Soul, and the tower that was broadcasting out the radio station was at the Benson Towers, and there was times when it was on the roof, so there was times when we had to like be like, "Yo, yeah, we got to go another day. The elevators, messed up or whatever."
mhm,
One time I went all the way up on the stairs, so yeah, it was just messed up. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Camera. Tough,
yeah.
uh,
Sorry
yeah,
for your loss.
don't even have words. Sorry for your loss. Um, Appreciate everybody coming in. I see Tamika Johnson giving condolences. Also, Rose Reviews is saying freedom of speech on the internet is like going over someone's house and saying whatever you want. It is not your internet. That's
Hmm.
an interesting thought. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. Definitely a lot of freedom of speech talk. Everybody we've been talking about that TikTok situation and how it's not just about the social media platform, but about the way that they want to control information. A lot of people are finally seeing what the big picture is and speaking up on that. But this started a long time ago, and of course we're on the precipice of Trump maybe being elected president again.
Man, enough.
Who's been wanting to shut down press and who's kind of started the whole war
Man.
against the press. So yeah, sorry y'all, got some
Which
heavy
is
situations going
just
on.
completely ironic, man. Which is completely ironic. He was going around waving the whole fake news flag, and then it turned around that the news that was trying to support him was the fake news. It
I mean, he's definitely been using fake news in order to.
Man, I mean, he was the poster child for Fox for a while, and they just got sued for fake news.
Yeah. So, and again, they're trying to act like, there's a bunch of misinformation being spread everywhere all the time. I think it's kinda messed up, that it's a long story, man, there's a lot to this. I'm having my headphones about to fall apart here. Yeah, 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 and, take a little minute to fix that, but, yeah, so it's kinda interesting to see that, I was just thinking a second ago about the misinformation that, Facebook, they've been saying Facebook has faced, all these lawsuits because of this, because they're feeling like, Russians and other people have come in and spread a bunch of false news in order to sway elections. I mean, this conversation's been going on for a really long time, and it's pretty unfortunate that it's playing out the way it is. But if they have it their way, they want to try to control everybody's flow of information, and all these little pieces when you put them together, that's what's being proven. So yeah, it's a lot to keep up on and talk about. I often think, I have to think because of what we're doing here, what would happen if we wouldn't be able to do what we can do on Facebook here or YouTube or any of the other platforms that we're on. Um, one of the big features of these social media platforms is the live feature.
Mhm.
It's hard for them to regulate that. So it'll be really interesting to see about whether or not, how that happens. But for the most part, right now, we can go on live and say we want to say, do we want to do. It might not stay afterwards, but it is what it is. So there's a lot to think about because it makes you go back and say, where am I getting my information? Where do
Yeah.
I look for my news? Where do I look for communication with the community? Ever since local newspapers have gone away, it's been in jeopardy. It's been in jeopardy. It's been a question. It's been in jeopardy. So really interesting. What's going on? Brother Pena in the chat is saying we're afraid that the government is going to take our freedoms away. I think should be delayed and reassessed a different time. TikTok law needs change. Half of them don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Russians have infiltrated our system. We're talking about our freedom to express ourselves, and they're using that freedom against us. Well played, Russia.
Mm.
Russia, China, USA.
Right.
You don't think that America
Right.
has been a part of this campaign? Most def. Anthony Rogers right in the chat. Good morning. He says, "Wait, Trump was against the anti-TikTok bill that the Democrats mostly support, and we all know what they do." Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was against it. Was for it at one time, trying to shut him down, and then came back for it. So again, this is not about the social media platform. This is about freedom of information and who wants to control it. And that's really what this is about. Pops in the chat says Trump and MAGA are masters of projection, which is when someone attributes their thoughts, feelings, or behaviors to another person. For real.
Mhm.
Brother
Mhm.
Wright says it's the Dems being fascist this time to satisfy the demands of their Zionist masters. Okay,
Okay.
lots of thoughts here. I think
Yeah.
we're kind of on the same page with now it's time to kind of dig deeper into figuring out what this information grab is means to us.
Mm.
But yeah, let's get to it, man. In the meantime, between time, we got special guests coming in, so let's just dive into the article. You want to just jump into that piece, or
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of where my mind is. Just letting the chats roll through, and you making some good points. Man, I was actually about to take the conversation left field, but we got some guests and some stories to dive into. Man, yeah, I was gonna get into AI and everything, but we don't got time for all that. But I do want to get into the story coming out of Flatwater Free Press, going right along with what we're talking about, the freedom of information. Actually, quite literally talking about a Freedom of Information Act request that was put out by Flatwater Free Press, dealing with trying to get information on the governor,
mm,
Again, if you remember, Flatwater put out a very, very interesting article about the nitrates in the water, the high level of nitrates, the connection to nitrates to child developmental issues, and the connection to nitrates in that kind of line leading back to Governor Pillen and some of his pig farms, the swine farmer get nitrates in the water. Again, is who's governing the government? Like who's governing the governor? Who's policing the police? Who's really the crook? Again, and a part of that story, the back end of that story was Flatwater trying to get into some emails, trying to get some information, and that came with a $40,000 price tag. And again, it's called the Freedom of Information Act. Again, we're talking about a $40,000 price tag, and now this issue has made it all the way to the Supreme Court, and now a decision has come down. And yeah, Matt Henson, who is again the kind of captain of the ship, if you will, of Flatwater Free Press, and not really happy about this decision. Again, he's actually written a letter recently posted in Flatwater Free Press. He starts with saying, "I can't tell you how disappointed I am to report what follows, but it's news you deserve to know and need to understand." Again, he says, as you may know, the Nebraska Journalism Trust filed a lawsuit in November 2022 related to public records requests. Months later, a judge ruled in our favor. However, this morning, the Nebraska Supreme Court announced it was overturning, in part, the lower court's decision. This clears the way for the state of Nebraska to charge us ungodly amounts of money to gain access to public records related to the state's growing nitrate and groundwater problem. There are emails that could reveal how a state agency is grappling or not grappling with a gravely serious public health concern, and now they will likely remain hidden. He says, "I'm disappointed because I believe that these are records that we and you, the people, deserve are in fact legally entitled to be able to see." The state's highest court appears to disagree. This decision is a blow to Nebraska's public records law, a law written to protect media outlets like us, and Nebraskans like yourselves, from the secrecy of those who hold power. It will now presumably be even easier for any state agency or elected official or bureaucrat to charge any newsroom and any regular citizen the price of a Cadillac for public records, a price that in reality will likely cause a newsroom or Nebraskans to go away. To be clear, this was already happening regularly. It doesn't take a law degree to guess that it will now happen more. Again, it's a blow to our efforts to shine a light on our dirty water, quite literally and figuratively. Nebraska has the highest pediatric cancer rate west of Pennsylvania. Research shows that high nitrate in drinking water ties to elevated rates of kids with cancer. Reporter Yancey Shu, has done heroic work unveiling and unraveling this story. Or you can read a summary of her work on Flatwater Free Press. And actually, that work has caused her to fall in the crosshairs of Governor Pillen and, be on the receiving end of some rather racy
Racist,
comments. Yes,
racist.
yes,
I,
yes.
I would say
Racist.
racist, not
Yeah,
racy.
thank
Racist
you.
comments. Yeah, straight up.
Let's call it what it is.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So again, we've been talking about this. We've been talking about this. Not just the whole nitrate situation, not just the whole battle between Flatwater Free Press and the state, but the seemingly tightening grip on the freedom of information, a tightening grip on the freedom of speech, and the signs of a fascist regime. I mean, it's not looking good. We're getting further and further away from democracy, which is another conversation we've been having as far as just the overall deterioration of democracy over the last few years.
And it's just like, to me, it's like just like some rich folks to take to use money to block something. They're gonna give you the information. You just got to pay a ridiculous amount of money to get it
Mm-hmm.
because they need to take 4 days to research. In the case that they put out there, it took them. It was going to take them 4 days to pull this stuff. So 4 work days or whatever to pull
Mm-hmm.
this information don't equal $44,000.
No, no.
So why they would take that? Why they would charge that much? Well, it's obvious to block small newspaper media outlets and so on and so forth. This is the reason why. It's not just people try to act like we don't have local papers have gone down in this country because nobody subscribes to the paper anymore. Like that was the only way they were making money. They were also making money from advertisements, and yes, the social media giants stole a lot of that business. But a lot other thing that they were doing is the cost of running a newspaper was also raised up in ridiculous ways. And some of these kinds of things right here, this is information that is for the public that you're supposed to go get in order to back up your stories and claims that you're putting out to the public. If you can't, there's a whole law that says that you're able to go to get public records and utilize them. And if they have made it now to where they're like, well, it's still legal for you to get it. You just have to
Man,
pay a bunch of money. So it's almost like now you gotta make a law on whether or not you should have to do that. Well, they took him to court. They won. The court said, "No, you're right. You should this is for the public. You shouldn't have to be charged this amount of money." They appealed, went to the Nebraska Supreme Court, and then they overturned that. So now they are just able to just charge you whatever they feel like is worth it for you to have to pay to get whatever information they want. And I'm sure there's different prices for different information even.
man,
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy what just happened.
it is. It is. And again, you gotta look at the totality of it. It's not just this. It's Douglas County also urging people or deciding not to allow people to have public comment or kind of changing that whole format. It's Omaha Public Schools not really giving people the say so on this whole superintendent search. It's the city of Omaha not really giving the people the opportunity to speak with any of these developmental projects. Like what can the people do?
They can get busy.
Man,
I've been telling people, I've been saying this for a minute. Being a journalist is the most gangster thing you can do. If they're not gonna give it to you, we gonna break in and get it.
man.
I can call me Generation X coming from hacker culture, but hack in and get it then. Julian Assange, go ahead and do what you got to do
Man,
because
whistleblowers.
they're not gonna give it to you. So you gotta battle like that. That's it's one of the most gangster things you can be right now as a journalist, bro. For real.
Yeah.
First of all, for real, there's a war on journalism, and so and if you're a journalist that goes overseas, then you can possibly you're in war zone territory. You can get killed. They killing journalists. They trying to
Hmm.
throw them in jail here.
Right, right. They ain't trying, they are.
What's the difference? You
They
know what I'm
are.
saying? So anyway, we got a it's like the information. Now they're gonna make it just like they do everything. They're gonna make it against the law for you to get information. They starting in America. They start with the money. They make it out of your range.
Man.
The place you want to live, the house, the club. They put an economic barrier there so they can weed out stuff first.
So they redlining the information now?
Red line of information, straight up. I'm gonna jump in the chat.
Yep. Chat's going on.
Heather Williams is saying good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in. Mama Guy said good morning, fam. Good morning to you.
My
Brother
dude.
P said good. Oh my God, good information, buddy. No kids need cancer. You
Man.
ain't lying. Shout out to Ying Jae Shu. She has been like I think from the moment she started working,
Kicking
been
up dust.
attacked, kicking up dust, but again getting attacked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Straight. If you remember those articles that we talked about, Pillin, who was like, well, she's from China first of all, so she can't, just racist, just
Man.
straight up. But been uncovering this information and dealing with it and being the victim of almost getting sued, almost getting arrested, all kinds of stuff. Pop says, here's why Trump flipped his view on TikTok. Excuse me, because he is nearly broke. He has suddenly become friends with the owner of TikTok's parent company. It's always about what works in his benefit. For his
Man.
benefit.
So that's quite interesting. I was trying to put the two and two together and figure it out, but I could see him kind of hedging bets. Like if the bill does go through, then his former Treasury Secretary is about to buy it. If the bill doesn't go through, he's already buddy with the owner.
He's like, yo, I need to sell my gold Pro Ones on the TikTok platform. Von Chapman says, could a nonprofit be set up to fund the efforts needed to get the information from Nazi Nebraska? There is.
Possibly.
It's called Flatwater Free Press. They're a nonprofit organization and
Yeah.
a journalism and news organization, and they're countrywide. They're world famous right now. They're leading the forefront of nonprofit news, and so they have the attention of all the news groups everywhere. So if they don't, and they have an army of lawyers, so if they can't get the information, if the Nebraska, if it has to go all the way up to the Nebraska Supreme Court to get the ruling, the next step is to get people out of them seats and put people on the Supreme Court that will judge things right. Because what are you going to
Man.
do after that? I
Man.
guess they can
Well,
take it to the United States Supreme Court.
It's all very quite interesting. It's like the states are battling. You know what I mean? You got the of course the three estates, the executive branch, legislative branch, judicial branch, and then of course we consider the news, the fourth estate, kind of the eagle eye over the whole thing, the entity to keep. Actually, it's quite funny in this letter. Matt says, and finally, it's simply a blow to the 10 words that Nebraska's leaders once deemed so important that they etched it on the north face of the state capitol. So again, the irony of this whole thing is these words are on the state's capital. The salvation of the state is watchfulness in the citizen. State motto. Irony. But again, as Flatwater, the next steps that they plan to take is going to the final estate that hasn't apparently turned on them. They said this fight is far from over. I presume that those who understand the importance of the public's right to know will take this fight to the Nebraska legislature. So maybe some bills coming up next. This ruling won't stop the hard-nosed, hardworking staff of Flatwater Free Press from doing everything in our combined power to uncover and skillfully tell stories that Nebraskans deserve to know. We will keep fighting because we believe in those 10 words etched in the capital. And again, he says, I thank you for reading, donating, cheering us on. So, again, as a media entity alone in this fight, we're definitely watching. We're definitely, paying attention and cheering them on because, yeah, this is something that will definitely blow back on us. If Flatwater, like Paul said, with all the resources, can't really get any freedom of information acts requests, what does that mean for us, man?
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Hansen on that. I'd love to get him on, hear him all fired up about this.
Man.
But again, that's he said what I just said. Like if you reach the top of fighting for this, then the next thing you got to do is get people in seats to change the law.
Mm-hmm.
That's the process. I'm glad you said what you said about the fourth estate. And one more thing I'll say before we bring on our special guest
Yep.
is as we are a part of trying to of building out black media and news here in North and South Omaha, especially in Omaha in general, but with the North Side perspective. The whole idea of us being in control of that media means that we're going to have a different agenda than other entities like Flatwater Free Press or other ones have.
Mm-hmm.
But its ecosystem of news as a whole is a brotherhood. It has to be like you buddy just explained. Flatwater, if they got millions of dollars in resources and they're fighting the fight for the little man, for individuals like us, for the noise was a part of this thing a while
Mm-hmm.
back when noise was up and running. They helped with some of the fights that noise had to fight. And this is a constant thing. So if you can imagine, nobody wants you in their business, and especially when people are trying to do something shady but in behind closed doors. What kind of work, what kind of strength do you have to get past that and to get that information out? It's a necessity. So we'll continue to talk about this for sure. Like I said, I think that in the endeavor that you guys are with us on all the time, especially the chat chimers, people that are in the chat contributing. This is affects you. This affects all of us. The whole reason why we're doing this is so we can get information we need and disseminate it to our folks, break it down to make sure that we all understand what's going on, and then be able to act accordingly. If we're cut off from that information, we're in trouble. With that said, it is 7:33. We're already 3 minutes past what we agreed with the brother, but I know the brother has patience with us. We're gonna bring him on, brother Qasim Shabazz in the house. Good morning, bro.
What's up? What's up, man? Peace. How y'all doing?
Man,
Peace.
can't
How are
complain,
you?
brother. Peace, peace, peace. How's everything for you? How's your fast going?
Doing great, man. Just, trying to keep on moving,
Yes, sir. Yes,
Alhamdulillah.
sir.
Alhamdulillah. Everything's going great.
Man, inshallah.
What's up,
Man.
man?
So
Man,
yeah.
I have a special respect for you on the fast situation, bro. Because I've seen your appetite and the way you move. You make sure that you fueled up. So if you fasting, I'm like, man, this brother got some extra powerful strength going on right now. So shout out to you for that.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you. A little tired today, but I'm here, man.
Oh yeah, still
Yeah.
pushing along, still pushing along. So what's new with you, man? How's everything? How's the book club going? What's the word?
Man, everything's going good. Our greenhouse just arrived. That's
Beautiful.
the 26 by 12 footer.
Dope.
that we told you all about. Was up there
Yep.
doing some cleaning with the boys, and family Mike Dunn with asphalt maintenance, which is something that should be highlighted, will be highlighted very soon. That I recall the longest lasting black construction company in the city, and stuff like that. So yeah, everything is going good. Book club's good. Land is looking great. Football season will begin the weekend or the week that school lets out, which I think is like May 25th or something like that.
Okay.
We got Umar Johnson coming back on the 1st of June. This will be the first Midwest Pan-African Conference, is what we've decided to call it. I've gotten the Somali and the Sudanese community heavily involved. So we're working on some stuff right now. And then I have another special person coming. I don't really want to say his name yet. I'm gonna wait till this phone call today, man, but it's gonna be real heavy when I let you in on that. So that's about it, man.
Keeping it moving. I love it. That's what's up. Tell me about this, man. This greenhouse that you talking about buying, because me and my sister been looking at some greenhouses for the house, and I did a little bit of research on thinking, okay, this is how I'm gonna get my lemon trees and my orange trees and stuff in Omaha in this kind of weather right here. You got to have that greenhouse. When you said it, when you announced it at first, I was like excited. Like you said, the greenhouse has arrived. You got people already getting ready to set up to plant stuff in there. What you got going? Can I get my lemon tree in there? What's happening?
Man, come on, bring it on down. We're gonna build it. It came in a few huge boxes. Like I said, that thing is 26 by 12 feet. So we got a big boy, man. So we're gonna here in about 2 weeks, you'll see a whole bunch of us, man, out there building and prepping. Got Monkey Man Tree Care, because this past weekend when we went down there, that was the conversation as to where we wanted to put it. So he came down, and some of your other expert gardeners came down, and it was like, oh, we need to cut down that big cotton tree, and we need to, so we got a few more trees to move. But within about 2 weeks, that thing will be up and running, man. It's all self-sufficiency over here. So if you want to come and put your lemon tree in there, my brother, you're more than welcome to do that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna come get my hands dirty first. I'm gonna put some work in and then bring the tree over.
Little sweat equity. I
want to learn how it gets done. Sorry to cut you off, buddy.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's a learning opportunity. I think of that too, and I'm trying to get some volunteers to come over and help get their hands dirty and get that thing up. It's an opportunity to learn how it works, man. Because you can put a little small one in your backyard and do the same thing.
And that was kind of my question. What is I guess like the programming wise, what is the plan? Are are we expecting to see like a farmers market situation, community garden, seed sharing? Like what's the word?
Man, everything you just said. Everything you just said, man. The community garden, the farmers market, we will run up there on that property, and man, seed share, the whole nine. That's what it's there for. And we have all these children, man, that we're educating and developing into young men. We also we'll be bringing on the young sisters very soon, in which my 12-year-old daughter, she'll be heading up. And that's something we've been prepping for. So this thing here is for the children, man. That's what this is all about. It would break my heart at any time if the children didn't have us outnumbered in those spaces. So that's been our main and primary focus, man. This is, and actually I don't have the green thumb, man. I'm the shooter. I'm the hunter. I just so happen to have a lot of people around me that are good in that area.
Okay.
And that's what the BAA community have been calling for. So boom, we're here now. These things take time. We talked about the metaphor and the breakdown of even God bringing things into light, and these things take time and a grueling amount of patience. Unless you're doing it, man, it wouldn't understand, but it's tough. It's not an easy task.
Oh yeah. But it must be done. Especially, shout out to Brother Ross Takora, who constantly reminds us of the food war that we're fighting, and the fact that North Omaha is a food desert. And again, kind of remind us how deep are you, like Florence? Or are you a little more south? How, as far as the land?
We're Florence.
Okay.
So I'm gonna paint you a picture, man. If you if you're coming down North 30th,
Mm-hmm.
you know how you have Taco Bell and you have Burger King.
Yep.
You take that left and you go in between the two. You go all the way down towards the cemetery where you know where you can go straight or you can go up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
All that property right there, all the way out to the street, all the way back. We bought so much of the property, those houses on the I want to say the east side, south north side. Their property lines are encroached onto the property.
Mm.
You know, so I mean, it's a strong 8 acres and that little private road right there that they normally shut down.
Mm-hmm.
We own a piece of that. All of that down there we own, and it's crazy, man. I'll probably end up going up there today to check out some stuff. But yes, it's a lot of land.
Man,
What's up?
so
What's up?
so I asked about the area, and actually, Rome's review. I'm gonna get to your comment in a second. But I asked about the area because, if I'm not mistaken, that specific zip code area is literally a food desert. Again, for those who might not know, food desert is a area zip code where access to healthy quality food is either limited or non-existent. And yes, there are grocery stores in those areas, but a lot of times people don't know, those grocery stores are last on the logistics chain. Those are the ones that, they getting food from other places that didn't sell. And you wonder why your strawberries go bad in 2 days.
Mm.
So, you having land there is huge. And then on top of that, there is actually a photo of a real estate card in Florence specifically that says that it's basically no blacks, no Hispanics, no, like it's that the card literally says that, like, hey, come get some land or come get some property from us, and you won't have to live next to the blacks. And the
Yeah.
fact that you got land in that area is beautiful. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, right next door to the swimming pool, High Point, in which where didn't allow black people to swim
Mm,
pool. So we're dealing with that right now. We actually
mm,
set up a survey and drew across a part of their property that we own as well. That's a whole
mm.
nother conversation.
Hey, take
Man.
the pool back.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, I want to jump in here because we got another special guest waiting in the wings. I don't want to let him wait any longer. But ladies and gentlemen, brother Sherman Wells in the chat. What's
Okay.
going on, my brother? Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, brothers. How y'all doing?
Please.
All
Doing
is
good.
well. All is well. Peace, brother. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Just up on this beautiful morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Did you get outside already?
No, I didn't go outside today.
Okay.
I heard it was cold. I
Yeah.
woke up, people were saying it snowed. All
Mm.
black people always want to report the weather, but it was
Look
no
here,
snow
man.
out there.
Now, first of all, you know this is a family show. Don't come on here using that S word.
Yeah,
Man.
man.
Yeah.
Good old
that's what's up.
Omaha.
Good
Hey,
old-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, nothing. I wasn't saying nothing.
We want to jump back into this conversation real here with brother Qasim real quick. I just wanted to bring you on, make sure you weren't out there hanging. But
Yeah.
there was some stuff in the chat real quick, buddy. But
Yeah.
you want to pull out? Yeah.
Yeah, Brother Rome's review actually, kind of reading my mind as far as we were getting into the programming. And he says community composting, exchange clean buckets for buckets of compost. And I didn't even think about, of course, your greenhouse will produce, waste, and there'll be food that rots, and you can use that to compost. But I didn't think about, taking other people's food and using that as compost, and then selling that compost for people to get into urban gardening and urban farming. Like you can kind of start a movement with this greenhouse, and not just have it's the mentality that you're starting. It's not just having the greenhouse on the land, but now we can have a system where individuals are getting the education, and now hopefully be willing to garden in their own homes. But compost was definitely something that I wanted to point out as a possible even business model. Like you can sell compost to people for their gardening.
Mayor Sanchez coming with the good ideas. That leads me to a question I have about whether or not you tapped in with the No More Empty Pots people on the greenhouse. Is there
Hmm.
you guys any collaboration going on as far as information exchange and stuff like that on the food growing tip?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
It might be a good thing. We're supposed to have them on the show too, so maybe we can figure out something on just having a conversation there. Also, brother Pena says we need you out in Grand Island. Strong Sudanese brothers out here that really need some guiding. I wish we had somebody like you. You guys go out that far? You guys expand that far? You Omaha Central or or are you guys willing to go outside of Omaha and gather the community? Is that in the plans already?
Yeah, we plan on doing all that. This
Yeah.
thing, like I said, this thing, man, you realize in doing this work that what they say, what the good scriptures say, man, it say the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are very few.
Mm.
So, getting the laborers and getting the brothers and sisters intact and keeping them intact and creating a consistent plan, man, that's a whole nother fight. But inshallah, God's will, man, everything is going to come together. It's coming together and persistent. So reacting to the brother's comment, absolutely. We plan on coming to see you, brother.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I like that.
Beautiful.
I like that. Speaking of things moving, I'm gonna bring Brother Wells in, man. Give us an update, bro. You got a lot going on. I've been peeping at your show as much as I can and your TikToks especially. Just hearing your updates and things that you got going on. Give the people a little update on what's happening with you.
So we went to Evans Tower Friday. They had a meeting. What was it? A mandatory resident meeting, and I just seen Kimra talk about her father passed there. And she said the elevator didn't work. So when I was there Friday, it was working. I didn't know that it had went out. But it was little tit for tat things that I seen going on there that I didn't like, which was, they got rid of the baskets for the elders. So like when they coming in to with their groceries, they got all the baskets out of there. So now they have to go back and forth carrying the groceries up the stairs or up the elevators. And these are old people. And so that was something that I know for sure we're going to have to address. Then they also told them that if they have infected or like furniture that need to be threw out, they can no longer throw it in the dumpster. They got to pay somebody to get it hauled away, which if it's infested from the building, why wouldn't they have to cover that cost? So I just suggested that they should just get a dumpster out there. They talk about people pulling up and dumping stuff. Well, how about just locking it? And when the person tell them that they need to dump their stuff, you unlock it for the resident, They
don't want the residents dumping. That's why they locked it in the first place.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty bad. But I would say that the manager there, she's new, and her attentiveness to the residents, you could tell she cared. She did answer all their questions. She puts in the work orders for them because the calling system is broke, and then most of them don't know how to use the computer. So she does it for them. But the concerns that I had was really above her because it's stuff that she's getting from OHA Management telling her what she can and can't do. So I didn't address none of it with her because, like I said, her behavior towards the people was great. It's just that OHA putting more pressure on people. There was a Sudanese brother, who had recently told us about bugs in his apartment. He lived in a duplex, and man, he got an eviction notice after that. And the eviction notice was dated the typed up part was dated February 8th, but they didn't send it out to him until after he reported the bugs to us. And so then when I found out what was going on, they basically like, oh, this looked like retaliation. Sal, he said it looked like retaliation. I'm gonna get on this right now. He called and called their lawyers and basically said, don't worry about it. He's not gonna get through out. We're gonna work on it because he had a past due balance. But why did you not bring it up until after he told us about the bugs? And they had to go there and treat his apartment and stuff like that. But it was clearly retaliation. And then a whole month later, I just think that's crazy. So this is part of the reason why, like, me and Qasim went to Florence and all those people came out, but nobody wanted to go on camera because of the fear of using technicalities against them for to get them put out just because they are speaking up against it. So I had a lady call me, Mary Jo, a little frail white woman, and she called me crying and she said the manager yelled at her and was talking crazy to her because she had reported to us about her apartment being unfinished. And whenever now she asks him a question and stuff, he just be real rude and aggressive. And I'm like, this is a senior, an elder. You don't need to be talking to her like that and yelling at her to the point where she's crying and then calling me with those same tears like, man, somebody need to do something with him because he treating me like I ain't nothing just because I talk to y'all, So I'm going to address that. I won't say when because it got to be a surprise. And, sometimes you got to go in there like a father with a belt. And that's when, especially when you're not getting the result from just simple talking and trying to be reasonable. But again, like we talk about, you can't always be reasonable when it's a demon behavior. You got to slay it like the dragons, So, and then other than that, we had the last week I was told by some veterans at Douglas County that they didn't have no hot water in their mod. And then I was told they got moved to a mod that didn't have no running water. And the mod had slamming doors, which was causing the veterans to have PTSD every time they hear the slams. And so, me, of course, first thing I did was went to Douglas County myself, hit the little buzzer, and the dude came out and he like, no, why would somebody tell you that? We never moved the veterans. They're still in their designated mod because they have a mod that's designated strictly for veterans and is set up in a way where their beds is right here, like together. There's no up and down stairs for the elders. And then there's no slamming doors, and then they got their little decorations and stuff that the community done donated for them. So I'm like, okay, cool. Of course, I messaged Precious and had her start the email chain going out to the people to see what was going on. And that's when I was told that, yeah, they were moved. I'm like, oh, okay. So now y'all contradicting yourself. I went there and they said they never moved them. Then she sent out this email with us on it, and it comes to the light that they were moved. And then he was like, but I haven't heard nothing about no water. Let me check on it, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, probably a couple of days later, the water was turned off. But now we got it fixed. So I'm like, okay, this is like, have we not said nothing, you just going to keep playing games with these people who put their life on the line, right? So one of the veterans called me and I recorded him and made a video. So his voice can be heard, and he just talked about the PTSD and the thing of the water being cold and then blowing cold air on them. It's February, y'all got the air on, so they in there shivering, taking cold showers or not a shower at all when the water wasn't running at all. So he did message me back and said thank you because they had hot water within that next couple days, but they were still not moved back to their mod, which he said some of those veterans is Vietnam veterans in there, and they got to go up and down stairs, so they basically just helping each other, helping them get up and down those stairs. But still at night when the guards is checking on them doors is slamming, they jumping out they sleep, people is triggering their PTSD, they getting sick. So that was something that we still got. One more thing to work on with that is just getting them back into the mod that was designated for them. And we got some people that initially helped them get in that mod that's going to be working on that today. So,
okay, this is some new information that's on the veteran situation. I appreciate all your hard work as per usual on that. Man, sounds like rough going.
Yeah.
So in your, I don't want you to give away too much of your strategies because, like you said, surprise is very important when it comes to. That's right, but it's chestnut checkers. But I do want to put out there. Is there anything that anybody can help with? You know what I'm saying? Like we always want to ask that question. What can we do to help your efforts that you're behind you? You're leading some of these efforts. What can we do?
So really, right now, I do have a lot of people that's working on this stuff with me. Like I said, I reached out to Precious. The other people I really can't mention because they in positions that they're going in my agenda, or our agenda, I should say, the community's agenda, and I don't want to give them away because they have to be able to lay that smack down on the other end while we doing our side, you know. And so the veteran thing, I'm pretty confident is going to get taken care of. There was another veteran in there who the police, he actually got, the police called on him at a hotel. And when they showed up, he was under the influence of drugs. And the officers, instead of calling somebody for a mental health check or something, you know, they come in there, grabby, beat him down, and then charged him with assault. And so when I found that out, I went directly to the police department. You know, I'm a direct person. So I went directly to the police department to get some information. And those officers are complete, they're those type of guys. And so I just told their boss, like, you need to get them out of there because, as far as like off of this person's case, because what I found out is the fact that they're saying they were assaulted during the arrest is stopping this veteran from getting veterans court. And so they have a veterans court that's set up separate for veterans to, you know, be able to be treated for their issues. And so now this person is being blocked from veterans court because the two officers are saying he assaulted them. So I said, you need to get them out of there. Stop with the bull. Let this man get in the veterans court so he can get put into a facility, a treatment facility, where he can receive the help he needs. And honestly, his mother was the one who gave her life in Baghdad when she saved another soldier from dying. And she's from my cousin Lillian Clemens. She's from Omaha, graduate of Central, and it's her son that they're doing that to. And so, and he served too himself. So it's like, you know, people always think it take a whole bunch of people and all that stuff, but really it's the direct forward approach with these people when you're dealing with demons who's not used to people asking questions or speaking up, you know, on truth. And when you do want both of those things, don't nobody like that in Omaha. You can't really ask questions around here. They got us in like this thing where like Hitler had it where, you know, you put the fluoride in the water, nobody's going to rebel, nobody's going to ask a question, you know. And when you get people doing that, they like, and then you with Qasim, he like, yeah, we got to figure out a way to slow these dudes down because they asking too many questions, they building too many things, and also the future with the children, man. The work that we're putting in is really for them, you know. And I don't even really call it work. It's just our effort and duty as a human being to look out for the other human beings. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's it right there.
As a soldier of God, you look out for God's children. We're all God's children, so we have to look out for each other. It's not really work. And so, you know, it's just what we do. It's what we have to do. It's a designated purpose.
Praise Allah, man.
Like I said, man, we really appreciate your efforts, bro. We only got a couple more minutes before we got another guest come in, and I wanted to jump to something real quick, get your comment on. You gave me a call a couple weeks back about the city that needed to be speaking to some black media. We saw that there's an article in the paper today that Omaha World Herald, I believe, is the one that is bringing this up about some people that spoke up and said, hey, if you got some lead testing that you need to do, you need to reach out to black media to do that. I feel like I got the originator of that request sitting here with me right now. So, so first of all, thank you. Appreciate your efforts there. Tell us about that experience. How did that conversation go for those of us that wasn't in the room?
Well, I'll tell you this. It was my sister, the beautiful and researching Miss Cheryl Weston.
Hey,
she's the one who put us all on notice. So yeah, and when she did that, then of course we went and did our thing. But yeah, man, I feel like if you're gonna, like she said, if you're going to put out something that's meant for North Omaha to get, then you have to go to the people that North Omaha is listening to. And so with your permission, that's why I included First Sky, and Will King was there, Omaha Star was there, and I was there. And yeah, we just, you know, we have to make sure that if you doing something in our town, then you have to include the people who the people is listening to, and they just was skipping right over. So now for the following year, because this was already set in stone, I guess, because the mayor said so. But the following year now, we'll have an opportunity to be a part of that, which I'm glad that everybody was ready to go, got our platform set up, and yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what's up.
The World Herald, we got them people at the World Herald is all in, So like I said, there's a network of people that's pushing our agendas on purpose. We talk consistently, all of us do. So
that's what's up.
Beautiful.
I was able to have a conversation with them, and that was what I put. What I came from is they did a whole bunch of they had a big marketing budget that they went ahead and they hit all the levels, man. The Omaha World Herald, Channel 7, all the way to grassroots. They messed with Bill King over there, 957 The Boss, The Star. But they were still, to me, the conversation had to do about access. There's no way that certain entities, certain groups, certain city departments, and certain people are going to have access to North Omaha in a way that will have access to North Omaha. And when they got to do something in North Omaha, they really kind of need that access. So sound like they were very open to it. And like I said, thanks to you and Cheryl Weston for bringing it to their attention. They seem pretty open to that idea, that they understand that they can't go as deep as we can go in the community. And I want to do something about it. It's just another step towards, shoring up Black media and being the voice of the people. So,
yeah, and it goes back to, we're not used to this, but I done mentioned to them 1,000 times that you are dealing with a new North Omaha that's conscious of what's going on around here, and you got people who will come to your office wherever we need to come talk to you. And I try not to drag my brother Qasim with me every single time, but if it becomes necessary and they see me and him coming together, then they know probably it's going to be, you better make sure you address the issue. So
unity, stronger together.
Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. You got any final words for the people before we get out of here? And also, Sherman, Brother Wells, please let them know what time your broadcast and stuff happens and where it's at.
So this Saturday, we just did it this Saturday with updating with Brother Terry, which is Levi Blake's son, and he expressed his disconcern with some things, but then he also talked about his appreciation of the community. And so I usually do it on Sundays, but that was his only day off, so I had to get him in there on Saturday. But I'm usually doing Sunday at 8:00, Sunday sermon with Sherman, and yeah, man, that's usually what we're doing. But yeah, Mr. Blake, that's like my number one mission right now. We got to find this brother, man. So.
Yeah, I saw in your post too. Shout out to Empowerment Network. Shout out to the OPD. Shout out to Julian Young Associates. They all have contributed some dollars. So now we're up to 15,000 for information.
15,000. Yeah.
So shout out, and I know that's something, like you said, that's you being in their face, being like, "Yo, come on
Man.
with it." Oh, any final words, Brother Qasim? I saw that you got some recognition here from Ashley Spivey, community activist. I like this post that she did, giving you some flowers. So that's
beautiful.
What's up. Yeah, very, very cool, very cool. Any final words, Brother Qasim?
Man, we just got to keep on moving. That's it, brother.
Love it. Moving is happening. Hopefully everyone is seeing the effects, man. We'll be getting into it here in a second, Sherman, but I see OHA also decided to stop evictions. So let's keep applying that pressure, y'all. Let's keep applying that pressure. They watching. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yes, sir.
OHA? What's up? Shout out.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, brothers.
We got brother Wayne in the wings. We gonna let you guys go. We'll holler at you next week, bro.
All right, fellas.
Peace.
Oh man, yeah, it's so funny. Brother Wayne in the house. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Senator Wayne is joined us this morning. How you doing, bro?
Doing well. How about y'all?
Man, can't complain.
Sorry about that. I didn't mean to throw you in there like that. I did.
Hey, I was like, dang, he not gonna introduce him.
It's all good.
I started fingering the button and let you in too fast. But introductions, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Senator Wayne is in the house. legislative report. Appreciate you coming on in, bro. How you doing this morning again?
Good. Senator McKinney might be driving down to Lincoln. We got a chairman meeting at 9 o'clock, but
Okay.
Oh man.
I'm gonna head down there whenever I get down there.
Okay.
As long as one of us in the room, that's all that matters.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Man, so
Oh,
what's new? How's the coaching? You know, how's life? How's the
yeah.
family?
Man, it's good. Life is good. So we
Nice.
this week we got today we starting off the top with a filibuster on LB 137, which is it creates a new crime or enhancement. So basically, if you selling drugs, giving out drugs, not even selling drugs, but any controlled substance. So if you think you're giving out a controlled substance and it has fentanyl in it and somebody dies, it's an enhancement. And so I fundamentally got issues with penalties that don't have what we call mens rea, which is the intent to commit that. So if I don't knowingly know that I'm selling fentanyl or even giving fentanyl to a friend and that person dies, I don't know if I should be held accountable for not knowing what I was giving somebody. And so just those kind of things, that'll be on the agenda today. What'll be interesting is the dynamic between Senator Hunt, who had a bill that was vetoed, but the senator who introduced 137 said she was supporting it, and then during the veto, Senator Boslin did not support it. And so, since LB 137 is Senator Boslin's bill, and it kind of deals with addiction and from a criminal standpoint, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Man,
yeah, it's real interesting. Real interesting.
The soap opera of the
Yeah, it's about to be one today. So
yeah, we kind of talked about it last week, just briefly. What are your thoughts on how that whole thing played out, as far as the change of course? We had 7 senators, voting in support. The bill passed, it got vetoed, and then they changed their tune. What's going on? What's your take on that?
That's just politics, man. It's unfortunate. I mean, I had at one point my first year on felon voting, I had 36 votes, and I couldn't get 30 on a veto override. So it's just politics, and my thing is there's just people either believe in a separate branch of government, and they either believe in that they are an equal branch or they don't. And I think we're our own independent constitutional branch, and so if you believe it's a good idea, then you follow it all the way through.
Man,
it's really that simple to me.
That's you kind of putting it in a nice way. Over here we feeling like a bunch of senators got word that Pillin didn't like something, they kissing his butt and changing the vote straight up. So
man, that's just what it is. I mean, that's the normal terminology.
the PG-13 terminology.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, I in your comment though, I do like this idea that it's a reminder that there is a separation. They're separate entities here, and it should not be party based. This whole the whole thing that we have learned about the unicamerals is not supposed to be leaning on certain parties as far as the decisions that are being made there. But it doesn't seem like that happens all the time. So
a couple phone calls and people fall off, and so I tell people that there's 3 votes you got to ask for. The first one is a vote to get out of committee, so you got to get out of committee. Second one is vote through the legislative process. But for my bills, I always ask for a third. I need to know if you're going to be there for the override. I can't assume once I pass a bill, y'all gonna be there. I can't even assume once I pass a bill, it might not get over it. So I just hey, and I ask people, look, I only need you for a committee vote. I only need you for on the floor, because I already know they ain't gonna be with me on the override. But every once in a while, I'll try.
Wow. The strategy always kills me, man. Every time I hear this kind of stuff, I'm just like tripping. Like, you got to really be playing chess in there.
Yeah. I kind of heard something the other day, as far as like in that realm of strategy, you got to remember that, there's a difference between allies and friends, and, you got to use them accordingly.
Yeah,
man. Friends gonna be there when it get tough. Ally, they gonna be there when it works for them.
Man, that's 100, and that's how it is down here. It's very interesting. That's all I can say. It's just very interesting. This year more so than I've seen before, because people trying to play like we was fake, trying to get along, because they don't want it to end like it was last year. But today's gonna be interesting. It depends on how hard Hunt's gonna push, how hard Kavanaugh's gonna push, and quite honestly, how hard I'm gonna push. I'm gonna try to, but how I filibuster is different. I try to get people to vote on things they don't want to vote on. So, like 137, I'm adding medical marijuana to it. So, like, let's vote on it. If y'all say y'all trying to stop opioids and all this, well, we know that where medical and recreational marijuana is, the number of deaths in fentanyl and opioids go down, because typically how people get addicted to these opioids is they usually have an injury, and then they go Oxycontin or something real strong, and then it turns into drug use. And so what they found in Colorado and other places is that people who can use recreational or medical marijuana, it's a smoother painkiller, and it's not addictive like that. So there have actually been a lot of studies showing that it's dropped. So when they get up and say germaneness, I'm gonna say this is all about, and I'm gonna pull out all the studies and be like, this is all about. It's the same thing. Let's make it happen. If y'all want to attack this from all angles, then we gotta add cannabis to the conversation.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, I got brother Terrell McKinney in the wing. Senator McKinney will bring him on in. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Oh, my man already in Lincoln. I knew you was gonna make it to the chairmanship meeting. That's what I'm talking about.
How's it going, brother?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Man, can't complain. Yep. All is well.
I see you up early in Adam already, huh?
Yeah, man. Had to get down here early.
Okay.
Yeah, Senator Wayne kind of filling us in on what to expect, the filibuster. What's your take? How you feeling about what's to come this week in the Capitol?
Oh, it's gonna be a fun week. We got. I know y'all were talking about LB 137.
Yes, sir.
Then we have the Urban Affairs Priority Bill, LB 840, which does poverty elimination plans, but it also has provisions in it which would hold OHA more accountable. It would give residents right to counsel. It would add 2 more resident commissioners. It would set up a better complaint and grievance process. It would make sure that all contact information for commissioners and OHA staff is more available to the public. It would, I think also in there it says that they have to have meetings in towers at least one in one tower at least once a month. And it would say nobody from the mayor's office could be on the board. The mayor would appoint the CEO, and nobody could be on the board that is making money from contracts. So it's interesting. OHA don't like it, but I think it's needed.
Now that kind of just brings up a lot of questions. Like, if you got to make a law against this stuff, does that mean it's happening? Like, who's getting that contract money on the board? Like, what's really going on? Where's the money really going? And we know it's not going to maintenance.
No, I mean, you have to look no farther than the legal counsel is Barrett Holmes, and they have representation on the board. That's been like that since I was on the school board. So
Barrett Holmes.
Okay.
Right across the street from the courthouse in the Woodman Tower, they got their big sign up that says Barrett Holmes. It's a law firm.
Yeah.
As he sips his tea.
Let me jump back a little bit on another subject real quick. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat. Good morning. He's asking, does Senator Wayne know about the state is applying for a bunch of Inflation Reduction Act money to reduce greenhouse gases, which could have massive implications for his district given the OPPD power plant. It's important that he provide information for his constituents to prevent the same follies associated with the ARPA money.
So, no, I don't know about it. But 2, I mean, so this is part of when we get asked about potholes. Like, that's the city of Omaha. We have an elected board for OPPD who should be going after those dollars, maybe. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the state as a whole is going after them, because that would be the Department of Natural Resources, what they call it now, in the Department of Environmental and Energy. I'll shoot an email over to them today, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's see. Is this the same thing you were just talking about? Does Senator Wayne know that the state is applying for
Yeah.
a bunch of influence? Okay,
Mhm.
got it. Appreciate that. Appreciate you answering that. Oh man, I had a good question about that situation too. The in the area that you are in right now, that we know that this is your last time frame there. We had Ashley Spivey on the other day talking about her run. With thinking about this issue with the coal plant, we've been talking about this for a while too. Seems like they keep kicking the can down the road about this decision to move it. They said they're going to move it, then they don't. And so since there's a whole other board, since there's a whole other committee there, like you're explaining, how is it that you in that position, and maybe her if she gets in that position, what can she do to work with OPPD to make some of the changes that need to be happening environmentally there?
So we can introduce legislation on all them. So this year I did a bill on OPPD that because OPPD is in multiple counties, they when there's a disaster, say the Missouri River's flooding or it's rising, they have to go to each county and get a disaster declaration. And so my bill is just, you guys are your own board. You should be able to declare your own disaster and go to the governor directly to go after some federal dollars. So she could introduce bills to move them along. I mean, I've done some bills on coal plants and reducing the coal plants. I think I'm a co-sponsor of one this year. The issue with our energy is, one, we don't produce a lot of energy here. We buy on the market. We actually just buy and trade on the market quite a bit, actually. But one of our bigger problems is shutting down the coal plant. You have to have so much in reserves, and building enough capacity through green technology, whether it's wind or solar, is just hard. In fact, OPPD is trying to get land down by Cass County to build a new solar farm down there, and it's been very contentious down there, whether they're going to use eminent domain or not to make that happen. So,
Wow.
Energy is a complicated issue. We're part of what we call Southwest Power Pool District. The Southwest Power Pool District is ran out of Arkansas, and so really they control all the energy in Nebraska. Nebraska doesn't really control its own energy, nor does OPPD. They can tell us to shut down things. They can tell us to turn off energy. They can tell us to crank up energy. They have final say over how and when we use energy.
Okay.
No, I did a bill on that my first year to privatize energy, and I think I got the most letters ever written against the idea. I think everybody in Nebraska wrote against it, including my mom. But that was kind of my point, was just like our elected boards, like particularly our OPPD and MPPD board, we gave up control to Southwest Power Pool. So when you see it's windy out and ain't no windmills blowing, that's because Southwest Power Pool said there's too much energy on the grid, turn them off. And that's just the way it goes.
Wow.
Man. And that's again outside of Nebraska's, like there's nothing you can do about that as a
No. And so a couple of years ago we had the big freeze. I think it was 2020. They actually told us to shut down power because there was a jam between Kansas and Oklahoma, and Texas caused a big problem, and they were trying to move energy around, and actually told us to shut down for about 10 seconds, which caused huge significant outages up here. And so we had a big hearing on it and try to come to some consensus. But at the end of the day, Southwest Power Pool is who runs our energy in Nebraska.
Man.
I'm glad you said that. There was one I was wondering about that, because I remember us reporting on that situation of understanding that the energy was coming from Texas and what happened there. Never understood what happened, who was in control of that. So that makes a lot of sense to everything that we've learned on that tip. Yeah, it's a trip. She got her work ahead of her if she's gonna make it. When it comes to that situation, that's a whole separate situation we haven't even really been tapping with you on, but the fact that that's in your district too.
And I'll tell you though, OPPD is sitting on a lot of cash too. Everybody is sitting on record cash. So one of the problems we have with OPPD and why that race and people should start paying more attention to it, is because we are raising a lot of our rates over the next 5 years because of databases that we've put in here. And so the Facebooks and all of that, we put databases in here. They take a lot of energy, don't produce a whole lot of jobs. But right now, all your residential increases, I think it's almost like 2% or 5% a year for the next 5 years. That's all because of industry and commercial, and the residents have to pay for it.
That's interesting. So like these server farms and things like that, just sucking up power. Nobody's really in there, just a room full of computers.
Well, we're giving them great pricing at the expense of the residents.
And when you say we, like who cuts
OPPD
those kind of deals?
OPPD has major contracts with all of them for little or costing them little or nothing for their energy at the rates of us paying for it, everyday people. So these are the things that Senator McKinney and I be sitting here talking about. Like, there's so many things that, we could dedicate a year to each topic and probably still not educate everybody fully on how all this works, because it's just like this week I learned something McKinney knew when he was on education committee. It's called the BELF, Bureau of Educational Land and Trust Fund. They got over 1 million acres in Nebraska that this government entity has bought in farmland. They have over $1 billion sitting in their account, and it's a constitutional thing, but I never heard of them. And I've been down here for 8 years, and McKinney was like, "Oh yeah, on education." When I was on there, it's so much things that we have in Nebraska that it's just so hard to educate everybody on because it's so complicated.
Let me bring Brother McKinney on and ask you the question to that point that Brother Blaine's just talking about. I guess I'm feeling like, since there is so many things, all I can really do is try to keep up with the most pressing ones, or the most relevant ones. Which things could, based on what we're just talking about right now, which things to you, Brother McKinney, can you say are top of mind for you within the realm of all of them? Which ones are the most are the most pressing and important ones to you? Is what I'm trying to ask.
You got to prioritize day to day. One day is something else, and another day it might be something, especially down here, depending on what's on the agenda. And then also what is going on outside of here in the community. Stuff pops up where somebody might call you, something going on in the prisons or something's going on in the community, and you got to try to pivot and try to help out. So I can't say one thing. It just depends on the day, honestly, and what's going on. You can't over prioritize anything. You just got to learn to adapt and kind of be a chameleon.
Man. So to that point, again, both of you mentioned that this week, as you said, going to be fun. Are there any bills that is it just filibuster? Is it defense week, or are there any bills that you're going on the offense that you're trying to push this week?
It's not all defense. I'm gonna try to find ways to get some of my bills that are on general file attached to other bills. I got bills that came 8-0 out of committees that don't got priorities that I want to try to get passed. So I'm gonna try to find bills to get them attached. So it's not all defense. It's just trying to be creative, and we got late nights down here, so we got time to think about some things as well.
Okay. Senator
Anything?
Same here. I'm looking at how I'm attach all bills to everything, and so last Friday, if anybody was bored and watching, I started going into bills that were Republican led in my committee that were stuck in committee because of Republicans, and we started getting other Republicans involved, and they got a little pressure to exec on one bill and kick out one bill dealing with sexual assault and suing the state. But there's some other bills that are critical that we're going to try to get through. One is Senator Brewer's bill dealing with them seizing money on the side of the highway. We talked about it before, that he's got that bill that we're going to figure out how to get a vote on. And then we just got a bill. So when you're in state custody, whether it's a prison kid, school, whatever. Let's take the scenario. A kid is trying to sexually assault another kid at a school. Parents go in, tell the school about it. School say they're going to do something. They're going to remove kid. Then they don't remove kid. And then kid sexually assaults your kid. What's the recourse? Because right now under law, you can't sue the school for failing to do their job.
Mm.
And so that is a recent change by the Supreme Court. And so we've been for the last 4 years trying to get this bill passed, but I'm gonna try to get it passed this year for sure. Just trying to hold people accountable. And what's interesting is people always say run government like a business, except for when they're trying to be held accountable. Then they don't want that. So we got a lot of little weird laws here that we are trying to change. And this year is going to be a blitz, and it's going to start this week.
Okay. Looking forward to hearing about it and keeping up with it. Paul, you had a question actually before I keep going?
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. A few things coming out of chat. So big shout out to everybody, commenting right now and watching. If you have any questions for the senators, feel free to drop that in the chat, and we'll try to get to that. I did want to look back at a story we kind of talked about last week as far as education. There's a few education bills that came out, some things that passed. From the surface, from the report that we read, it all looked good. Just kind of, what are your thoughts about what the state is doing education wise? Some of the bills that are coming out and where that conversation is on the state level.
We got a problem.
Okay.
So if we don't fix our education funding, about 20 schools fall out of school districts fall out next year, including Lincoln Public Schools.
What do you mean by fall out?
So they won't get what we call TIOSA funding, which is our major funding. So 50% of OPS is TIOSA, which is state funding. Millard will lose about 10 million to 15 million, and Lincoln will probably lose about 40 to 50 million. So we're talking about maybe having a special session just on education funding. The education committee is looking at the bill that I introduced on how to change TIOSA. I've introduced it for 8 years, knocking at the door, pounding at the wall, saying this is going to be a problem. And it wasn't until this year everybody was like, oh, we're going to lose money. And that was because last year all they were fighting was Terrell's suspension bill and superintendent pay, so they weren't paying attention. The other thing is overall I think we're doing okay, but we don't know what we're spending money on. And here's what I say: we got, it's going to be complicated. We got OPS, so think of your local school district. We got ESU, so that's another layer. It's called Educational Service Units. Then in Omaha, we got the learning community. And then on top of that, we got NDE, which is the Department of Education. Somewhere in there, we got this government committee called Post-Secondary Education that deals with high school and college and transitioning. So we got all these government agencies, and they all getting money, but at the end of the day, kids can't read. So there's a big disconnect. And when you ask them how much we spend on reading, teaching teachers how to read or just teaching kids how to read, we can't figure it out. So we gave them $10 million 4 years ago to do more dyslexia reading, teach kids how to deal with the dyslexia better. And this year we're supposed to give them another $10, and we can't figure out what they did with the previous 10. So it's complicated, but it's complicated on purpose, in my opinion.
Insights on that, Brother McKinney?
I mean, the formula is the problem. It's been tweaked with ever since it was created. I think it was created, in the 90s, and ever since it was established, it's been tweaked to basically appease different school districts over time. But since they did that, it pretty much screwed up the original intent of TIOSA. So now it's in the state it's in now. But that's the problem, is the formula has been tweaked so much that it's lost its original intent.
And so the real problem is on TIOSA. It's so the easiest way to explain it is we have what's called a local effort. We'll just say your local property taxes. So as valuations continue to rise, which they are in Omaha and Lincoln, everywhere in Nebraska, they're just going up. Your property valuations are going up. It's skyrocketing. So as your property valuations rise, the state has to pay less because you have more money, right? Well, that's becoming kind of off shift that where property is rising more than the state is keeping up. So now you have Millard and Lincoln, whose property values have gone up so high. The state says we don't have to fund them no more. That they're meeting the educational needs for their community. Well, I mean that's significant dollars. It's about 200 million across the state that will be shifted away from those communities. Now the beneficiary of that is Omaha Public Schools, Lexington Public Schools, Grand Island, places that have high poverty, ESL, things like that that have more needs. They benefit from the shift. They'll get more money, but again, you taking money away from everybody else.
Kimber's asking, what was the original intent?
The original intent of TIOSA was to lower property taxes and to adequately fund the schools from the state perspective. And when they first did TIOSA, the word poverty or any colors or nationalities were never mentioned. So there was already a problem. Then what happened is there was some litigation with South Sioux City, Omaha, Grand Island, basically the black and brown school districts that made them change it again to include poverty and some other things to allow for better funding. But it's broken on purpose. When I was school board president, every year we would hear that we're going to lose money, and we would just go down there and tell our lobbyists, go make a change in the formula to keep us whole, and that's what they would do. So it's been around for 28 years. It's been tweaked 27 times. So,
Wow,
man.
That's just education, right? And now we got a local school board, we have a state board rep, and now we have senators. Like we have so many layers to so many things that it's damn near impossible to make change sometimes.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I want to get a full picture of what the real danger is, though. Like, so say Lincoln does lose this funding, or other districts do. Are we talking, programs closing like we've seen with OPS and the special education classes, or are we talking about like schools closing? Like how where are we really?
It won't affect us like that. There'll be some smaller school districts where they'll have to put some squeezes on it. So who it won't affect. I mean, everybody's gonna blame us. If we don't fix it, they'll say the state took money away from us. But at the end of the day, this formula has been around for 30 years, and everybody knew it was going to start happening over the last 5 years when property valuations were going up. They just didn't do anything about it.
I'm also thinking about that story with Treasurer Ewing. Didn't he get in trouble for some school funding stuff? Is that connected to this?
Yeah, but see, that's how complicated the formula is. So property taxes were paid in. They made estimates on what they were supposed to get to the school districts, and when doing a 3-year look back, they were like, "Oh no, you didn't give us enough money." I mean, it's an estimate based off of a complicated formula. Somebody made the wrong calculation. That happens actually all the time. It's called a 3-year averaging adjustment that we at the state make all the time. So we look back 3 years and we make an adjustment.
Yeah, they try to make it seem like Treasurer Ewing was had nefarious plans.
No, that was because he was black.
you know what I'm getting at, man. Just trying to clarify. Thank you. Paul, you got something?
no, man, no, no. I got enough to chew on from the last 15 minutes of this conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm feeling the need to shift out a little bit. I want to jump over to Brother McKinney and just first of all just say appreciate your efforts. What's on your mind? I feel like you got some things that you're thinking about right now that you want to bring out. I kind of want to get I kind of want to move away from the questions that we have and just focus on what it is that you're thinking right now. What you got going? What you got brewing over there? What you got brewing? What you got up your sleeve?
I mean, not too much. I mean, last week was actually something good did happen last week. So I introduced LB 53, which was to create the state holiday for Malcolm X. I actually amended it after talking with some people from the Malcolm X Foundation to just recognize the day, his birthday, to get the state to recognize the day. We got that attached to a bill, Senator Conrad's 1102 Missing Persons Day. So that's final reading. So that's a good thing. And surprisingly, nobody stood up and talked against it. So that was good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good news.
They did in the back of the room. Just everybody wasn't gonna say nothing. See, I sit all the way in the back, so when people come underneath the balcony, I could be hearing what they say, and they're like, "What's Senator McKinney doing? We got Malcolm X. What? Wait, Malcolm X. What? And then green, too late. Let's keep rolling."
Slid it on through. Okay.
No, but besides that, just trying to focus on just getting through the rest of this session and trying to ramp up this campaign and, get through that primary in May.
Yeah.
So,
Campaign going good.
it's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is a reminder. Again, the primary is coming up. So yeah. Thank you for that. Senator Wayne, anything on your top of mind?
Man, I'm just. I feel like Wednesday, Thursday are going to be like North Omaha days. Senator McKinney, the speaker ain't told us, but we got all our bills sitting there. So I think that could backfire because then they vote for one of your bills and they be like, "We already gave Wayne something. We already gave McKinney something. They don't need any more." But no, I think you'll be hearing soon on some things that Senator McKinney's been doing, and I've been seeing him in the room, and he's taking a huge leadership role. I think you'll see some prison reform things that he'll get worked out in the next 72 hours. That probably be our biggest prison reform bill that we've had, I think, in the last 20 years. So,
Wow.
No, he's being quiet over there because he's been down there studying, and I've been in meetings with him, and he just is like, "Here's what we doing," and people getting on board, and it's been a cool thing to watch.
Beautiful. Yeah, I kind of picked that up from his. I ain't got my. Okay. But hey, let him cook. Let him cook. We don't want to spill the beans too early, so I appreciate it.
It's just that people at the end of the day. Also, I saw Ricky on here. So here's what happened. I just got to tell this quick story. So my first year in the legislature, or my second year, Ricky Fogan was, me and Ricky don't agree on probably 90% of the things, but I've always respect people as a constituent or as just people. And he said something on Twitter, and I just blocked him. He sent me this long email. It was like, you can't do that. This is your public email. So I'm like, let me do some research. And I'm like, damn, Ricky, right. So I unblocked him. Well, the Supreme Court came out last Friday with public people can block people in this certain ways. So, Ricky, you about to get blocked again. No, I'm joking.
40,000.
Supreme Court gave me the guidelines to blocking Ricky Fulton. No, that's my he's funny though. But I mean, I guess that's what I'm like. The one thing I'll tell people who run for office, you got to be able to have that kind of conversation and even take it on the chin when you don't like it, but you got to take it on the chin.
There you go. Yeah, I did want to ask about. You said again, Wednesday and Thursday could possibly be North Omaha days, and that's actually something Tony Johnson had mentioned. And the chat says, "I need a North Omaha day or two at the legislation. Send a message to those we support and those we are keeping an eye on." So my question was, will that be opportunity for public input? Is that opportunity for the North Omaha to kind of rally behind some bills, or is that too early?
It's interesting because Senator McKinney and I have been talking about this for 4 years now. We don't know the agenda until the day before. So we'll get my office will get a phone call from the speaker saying, "Hey, tomorrow you on the agenda, it's go time." And we have right now the agenda is just super long because the speaker doesn't know if a deal's cut on 137, it could be a 10-minute versus a 4-hour debate. So he listed a lot of stuff, but not a whole lot on North Omaha. But that's mainly because we've been last week in meetings working out, just making sure we cleared all the obstacles away. And so we'll know Tuesday night, Thursday night, okay, you're on the agenda for the next day. And so it's hard to like mobilize everybody when you don't know until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And now that we go on late night, we might not know the agenda till 9 o'clock and tonight before tomorrow's agenda.
Wow.
Okay.
Goodness. Well, we'll definitely be trying to keep as close an eye on as we can. We're definitely gonna be watching the legislature this week. Sounds like there's some good stuff to be able to like you said, the drama, the party starting here. We get ready to see how it works. So good luck to you guys. If there's anything that we can kind of keep up with, give us a shot. We can always just post something. You never know about the mobilization. I'd love it to have it to where we can be mobilizing at the drop of a dime. So let's act like that. We can act like that for a minute, see if it works, and do what we can do. And anything else that we can help with, man, don't hesitate to give us a call. Appreciate everybody that's jumped in the chat. I got so many more questions, but I don't want to keep you guys all day here. But I definitely want to hear if you guys have seen anything in the that Flatwater Free Press article that's talking about the Nebraska Supreme Court overturning that rule that I got to pay $40,000 to get information. We said in that conversation we were talking about the next steps is to change the law, because if they go all the way up there and they get the shot down, then something needs to change. Kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on that. Maybe that's something we could talk about next week. Or
so no, just so you know, that was one of the things I was trying to get a feeling on today.
Okay,
was because I think that has to either go to government or judiciary. So we would have to have a special hearing on it, and if we don't have a bill already out there, although I think we have some bills on public information request, and I ain't saying the Supreme Court got it wrong. I am saying at the end of the day, we can fix it in the legislature if we choose to.
Yeah, that's what we're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a movement there. There's a route to take. Thank you.
Yeah. Any final words from you fellas before we let you get out of here?
Have a good week. Enjoy the day. Have a good week. That's probably the biggest thing. I'm gonna try to have a good week and try to get some things done down here and keep a positive mind and just keep trucking along.
I saw you congratulating some wrestling champions. Anybody want to shout out before you go?
Yeah, I did a legislative resolution for the first girl wrestling champ at Omaha North, Anne Marie Myman. She won, I think, 135 pounds this year. So
okay,
did a resolution for her.
That's what's up. Okay. What about you, Brother Wayne? How's your daughter? Your daughter's season
have a good week, man. That's all. Like, it's man. I slept good last night. Things is gonna go good this week, and we're gonna have some fun down there. That's all.
There you go.
It's game time.
Hey, let's go. It is March Madness. So let's get into it.
I think it's funny.
Cinderella story here this week. Let's make it happen.
I think it's funny. Texas A&M playing Nebraska boys and girls.
Yeah. That's with Trev Alberts leaving. I'm gonna see if I can throw my name into the hat on that. I'm gonna mention a couple times on the floor today and see if I can get some board of regents to let me be the new Trev Alberts at Nebraska.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Man, we really didn't get into that. Yeah, thanks for reminding us about that. There's been a lot of commotion on that.
You named a lot of lawsuits. Yeah, you never know. So, hey, I'm just saying, I called one of the board of regents over the weekend, said that they could, make me president, and they said I didn't apply. I said, well, reopen the application. They said, y'all don't be putting these barriers in front of everybody else. I mean, why I got to apply? Just, but
make it.
It didn't work out.
Man. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
All right, y'all be easy.
All right,
do the same.
Let me know what's going on in the meeting when I get down there, McKinney.
All right, I will.
All right, y'all.
All right,
peace.
All right, there you go. Me and Buddy got to back up. They over here talking about us like we sitting too close. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners, radio listeners. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, y'all. back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, Carter. Cool as Freddie Boom Boom. Welcome back, Carter. It's going down. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Appreciate everybody jumping in the chat, and appreciate all the special guests that we had in today. Man, full day today, full house. Always some good information. Appreciate everybody that's joined in and shared the show as well. I see some people out there sharing the show. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. Put it on your page. Get as many people in talking as we can. It's been lots of information that the senators brought today. I'm like, sometimes you get a notion of the tip of you just sitting on the tip of the iceberg because there's so much to it. It's really interesting how they navigated being in the legislature. It's not a full-time job. It's it's something that you're doing, and you got to have a job to do. On top of it, even though you can put in the hours for two jobs with all the things you got to keep up with being a senator.
Oh yeah, definitely think senators just need to make a livable wage
at the very least. I mean, at the very least, and also those term limits, man. It's got me really thinking about understanding that you can be working on something for a few years and build it up, and then by the time it's getting ready to really make a move, you're out.
Yeah.
So how do you ever build anything up? So tough ones. Anyway, yeah, like I said, appreciate everybody joining in. It's 8:46 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, we definitely had a lot of things that we wanted to jump into before we got out of here. Some pretty interesting stories. Maybe we can jump into one or a lightning round. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah, actually, we touched on a lot of the stories that we kind of had lined up already. Big shout out to all the guests today, kind of dropping some gems on us. I did want to get into it a little bit more with Brother Wells as far as the OHA situation, because again, he is a part of the North Omaha Betterment Housing organization, and he's been kind of in front of the charge along with Sister Cheryl Weston and applying the pressure on OHA. And I mentioned it, kind of alluded to it, but definitely want to dive into the details of this again, as some of you have family members in the OHA towers, or maybe even live in the towers yourselves. This is something that you definitely want to look out for. Again, and even Senator Wayne mentioned about a story of a gentleman who was dealing with, or no, that was Brother Wells, somebody who was dealing with a possible eviction, and then again, Brother Sally Soccer came in and changed course. And it seems like there's going to be a little bit more of that, as the Flatwater Free Press is reporting. Omaha Housing Authority has decided to pause most eviction filings amid public scrutiny. So again, let's keeping up with what's going on, and continue to apply that pressure and have these conversations, because you see its impact. You see its impact when people are paying attention. Again, once Omaha's leading initiator of evictions, the city's public housing authority has all but stopped filing cases to remove tenants from their homes. The Omaha Housing Authority has not filed to evict any public housing tenants over non-payment of rent since mid-November. Actually, weeks before the Flatwater Free Press began publishing a series of stories that found the agency's eviction filings hit a 6-year high in 2023. So again, we had that eviction moratorium during the pandemic, and then the floodgates open, and now you see again a 6-year high in 2023. But the federally funded agency has filed to evict just 7 tenants since November 16th, 4 of whom for allegedly violating their leases, and 3 who lived in non-public housing that was still run by an OHA affiliate. The OHA CEO, Joni Poor, declined to respond to questions about the recent decline in the agency's evictions filings. But again, prior to the pause, OHA had filed to evict more than 400 times in 2023. So again, that's more than one person getting evicted every day last year, usually for failing to pay rent or other fees. But again, it has been brought up in this chat as far as the conditions that people are dealing with kind of causes them to want to pause and not pay the rent anyway. So is it a case of people not having the money to pay rent, or is it a case of people just trying to find some sort of redress in the face of these conditions? Lawyer Dave Pontos, who we've had on the show, he's a friend of First Sky. He says that OHA's absence at court has been noticeable over the last few months. The agency's inactivity in court has allowed volunteer attorneys like himself to focus more on cases brought by the county's private landlords rather than OHA, which is huge. Now, eviction filings in Douglas County were down 20% across the board. So not just public housing, but also private landlords included in that number just earlier this year in January and February. That's compared to the same period last year. So again, feeling the pressure, How long will this last? We don't know, but we'll definitely continue to keep our eyes on this situation. Also, shout out to Senator McKinney, who we just had on here. According to this article, he's leading the charge in recent years on this. Again, he chairs the Urban Affairs Committee, which recently amended two OHA bills. LB 840, which actually he just broke down to us. So again, shout out to our guests for helping us get into some of these stories and getting some more information. And let's keep paying attention to what's going on. Keep applying that pressure to OHA, and hopefully we will get some changes here soon.
Yeah. Brother Von Chapman in the chat earlier was asking about whether or not they can withhold rent. I think Brother Anthony Rogers Wright was saying we live in a state where you can. This might be a really good opportunity for anybody who has any issues there to speak up, because now OHA is going to halt evictions anyway. So that's even less of that's even more of a security that if you complain right now, you're not going to get retaliated against. And especially while it's hot, especially while everybody's applying this heat on them. And they're in the spotlight right now. It'd be real conspicuous if you went to complain about your conditions and then all of a sudden got retaliated against right here in this climate. So it might be a good time to speak up.
Yeah, man. So LB 840 again is the bill that Senator McKinney is pushing to kind of change the game on some of those things and hold OHA accountable, and also change who's running OHA. Again, if you remember, he mentioned about not having those collecting contracts and working for the mayor. So hopefully these changes will definitely lead to where we're trying to go.
Yep.
So LB 840.
Shout out to Miss Cheryl Weston too, who's been a part of really speaking up. She's in the chat right now. Good morning. Says at times OHA used rent evictions to evict because of other reasons, not because they were behind in rent. So yeah, like I said, she says if the rent is withheld, it has to be placed in a trust until a rent court decision. Appreciate you reminding us about that. Mama God actually tipped us off on that last week on don't just not pay the rent. Have it in case your ruling goes against you, and you can put it in escrow so it just be held there, so they can know that you have the intent to pay it. But you need them to fix some things before you do. But the money's there so that you don't get that ruling against you that you just didn't pay. So there's some strategy behind that. Obviously, we have some experts in the chat. You can reach out to anybody here that's a chat chimer that has any answers for you. I suggest you guys have some conversations and figure out what can be done. But yeah, really appreciate everybody who gets down on that. Yeah, Tony Johnson definitely want to promote Miss Cheryl Weston's YouTube channel, Conversations with Cheryl Weston. It gets down as well. So there's a lot going on out there. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of putting a list together right now of some really good sources, alternative sources that are similar to our show and the thing we're trying to do. That you can hit up, and we're always down to push those out. And more information you can get, the better. So that's what's up.
Yep. Shout out to the Hood Table as well.
Hood Table gets down. We were doing a movie review last night. I kind of jumped on for a minute.
Okay.
And of course Sherman's Sunday sermon with Sherman.
Yes.
Down on that as well. Anthony Rogers Wright says, "Is there an OHA tenants union? If not, there really needs to be." It's a good question.
Man, well, we got Sister Cheryl Weston. I've kind of been curious. Is that what the North Omaha Betterment Housing Committee is that kind of what the intent is? I'm more curious about what that organization really is, and kind of what are you doing?
Yeah, nice.
But good idea, Brother Anthony. Good idea. But
hey, go ahead.
Yeah, just a few minutes. We on the same tip. Right. Did you have any haps that you wanted to dive into? I know it's Monday.
Yeah, well, there was a couple of things, but first of all, I just want to give a shout out. This goes to one of the stories that we were going to try to talk about today. There was the Empowerment Network put out a scholarship, and they awarded some awards here. There's some folks in here, some friends of First Sky Omaha, some folks that we know like Leo Lewis, Chrome Lewis. I see Roscoe Wallace. There's some folks here that received some funds in order to do this. They're on this conversation about how to stop violence. So shout out to the Empowerment Network for putting that scholarship out there. Thought I had the information up here with me, but I didn't. So I'm trying to grab it right now so I can give you a little bit better explanation than I'm giving right now. But I definitely want to say shout out to them, those people that received the scholarship. Hopefully there'll be some good conversations, some good work. I think brother Wallace was in the chat earlier.
Yeah. He mentioned he wants to get with us and talk about some of the work that he's doing. I had a conversation or had a chance to have a conversation with Sister Tamika Meese, again of North Omaha Community Partnerships at the BAA 4-year anniversary. We had a good conversation. She kind of tipped me to some of the work that she's doing, and as far as helping with the violence prevention and also families having to move due to violence and things like that, are really giving resources to families. So man,
Love
I
it.
can just imagine it if she's next to these individuals, brother Roscoe Wallace. I'm kind of familiar with some of the work that he's doing. Just know it's real high level, really, really impactful stuff that these individuals are doing. So we'll
There you
definitely love
go.
to more. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah, Empowerment Network says after an overwhelming response to the inaugural Community Violence Intervention Professional Development Scholarship application, the Empowerment Network, in collaboration with the City of Omaha, is excited to announce and to partner with the 2024 scholarship recipients: Leah Lewis II, Tamika Meese, Latron Lewis, Jason W. Boyd, Crystal Rush Cardenas, Roscoe Wallace. This year's awardees will receive registration, travel, and lodging for one of two national conferences to support their ongoing work as community violence intervention professionals here in Omaha. We appreciate the number of responses received and look forward to increasing the number of recipients next year to broaden this important work. So, shout out to Empowerment Network for putting something like that together, getting folks out of town to learn, to see how something else is done in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Is all my philosophy there. So I hope they are able to go out of town and take advantage of that. So shout out to Empowerment Network for putting that together for them, and congratulations to the winners.
Yeah. Big
Other
shout
than
out. Big
other,
shout out.
mhm. Other than that, that's really about it. There was an article that I wanted to definitely dive into. Maybe we can get into it Wednesday. But there's a few things that we want to talk about. Not just what's going on here, but the brain drain in the art world as well. Art
Looking at
in,
that.
in Omaha is something that we're very passionate about. So we definitely want to speak on that. We'll talk about that. We're coming up at the end of the show here, so we'll talk about that on
Mhm.
Wednesday for sure. But yeah, there's a few things out there that I thought was really interesting today that we want to definitely get with. Also Wednesday coming up, Clarice Dombeck is going to be in the house, and we're going to interview her. We reported last week that she's going to be running uh, for I can't remember the
MTA.
name of the
It's MTA, Metro Transit Authority.
Metro. Okay, there you go. Metro Transit Authority. It's so new. It's a new situation. I just understood. Like there was an article that talked about how that organization is kind of a fairly new one. It changed from a different organization. So it's really I'm kind of anxious to talk to her about. It's really interesting, this position that she's running for, what it means for Omaha and so on. So she'll be our special guest on Friday. I mean on Wednesday, and then on Friday we're going to have our brother Preston Love. So
Yeah.
shout out to the guests that are coming in. Be sure to tune in and check out, get your questions ready for any of the guests that we have on. And go to Facebook now. We've been making event uh, entries for these guests, so you can kind of RSVP. Make sure that you say that you show up, put a reminder up for yourself, and just go to our page on Facebook and check out the events, so you can see what's coming up and get your questions ready for that. So, yep,
There you
yep.
go.
That's kind of about it right now. We'll have a more extensive Haps Wednesday and Friday, of course. But
Hmm.
for the most part, yeah, that's kinda all I got
Well,
on that tip.
I was looking at this brain drain article that you mentioned. A big shout out to brother Xavier Jackson,
Yep, yep.
young fellow, again founder of the local art plug, doing some big things. And we'll definitely be talking about the work that he is doing with brain drain on Wednesday. But I did want to just kind of point this event that's also in this article. Apparently, the Fabric Lab will be having a town hall meeting at the location right there on the Deuce in the Fabric Lab at 6:30 on Friday. So again, we'll be talking about this, but good time to kind of pin it in your calendars. Again, this Friday coming up at 6:30, it's a town hall meeting at the Fabric Lab. So,
Okay. I thought I must have looked at it wrong. I thought it was last Friday. I thought we missed that. But that's good to know. If it's this Friday, I definitely wanna go check it out. As a matter of fact, get your halves together too. Oh, Zane says hello and that he misses Younger Paul. I miss you too, buddy.
the
I'm gonna see you
dude.
soon. Yep, yep. Yeah, I appreciate everybody that's coming in on the end here, saying, giving their goodbyes. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check out that event on Friday. I watched that article and listened to the broadcast on Channel 3
Mhm.
KMTV. It was really interesting. It's kind of right up our alley, man. As far as what people are trying to do here. I kind of definitely want to get down with the art plug. Kind of find out what's going on with how they are managing to hold bring artists here, but also bring industry for those artists here. That's the main piece. They said in the article, they said they did a study of I think 500 people that left Omaha, and their major reason was so they can pursue their careers.
Mhm.
There's no industry here for them to pursue the career that they need to be able to pursue. So if you can build that industry here, you get a lot of folks that they're going to stick around. There's a lot of
Mhm.
brain drain out here for sure. So
Yep.
yeah, we'll continue to talk about that. It's already 9:01. So if you believe in the concept of time, but before we get out of here, buddy, got some words for the people.
Oh man, as always, big shout out to our guests, brother Sherman Wells, brother Qasim Shabazz, brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Big shout out to them for dropping some gems on us. Some things I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch, even though I've been here in it. Gonna have to go back and rewatch. Man, a lot of information was presented today. So hopefully everyone got some nuggets to take away. As always, we also appreciate and love all of you listening, chat chimers, ghost listeners, everybody tuned in, man. Again, make sure you tell a friend and check us out. We are growing, the numbers are growing, and we appreciate you all for just your support. So again, hopefully we will continue to receive that support. And catch the same time, same place, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Guy Omaha in the morning. And now you can also catch us on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, man. So definitely follow up. And stay up on what we're doing. In the meantime, between time, Paul B,
Yo,
take it away, man.
appreciate everybody who's checking us out on TikTok. Those news briefs are something that we're pretty proud of putting out. If you miss parts of the show, you can kind of get a little bit of idea what happened at the show or what the headlines are at the very least, and what it is. We're starting to really develop that news piece. What it is that we would say is a headline instead of the Omaha World Herald or Channel 7 or anybody else. That's coming from our conversations with you all. So again, we really appreciate you guys who are contributing to the conversation here in a big way. Rome's Review says, have a blessed week, everyone. Do the show a favor and go back and comment on an old show to let YouTube know we're watching. Appreciate that very much. Definitely like and subscribe over at YouTube. That's kind of where we're definitely concentrating on. In the coming seasons, we'll most likely be moving to YouTube exclusively for the conversation. So get ready to be able to be a chat chimer over there. And we appreciate you rolling with us on these new changes. Pop says Men's Monday was off the chain. Thanks for another great show. See y'all on Wednesday. Appreciate you, Pops, very much. And I appreciate everybody that's on here that's got a heavy work week coming up. The senator said it's going to be very entertaining. You might want to definitely go check out the legislature. If I remember, I'll go ahead and post it on Friends of First Guy Omaha when it's happening, so you can get a direct link to watch it. Man. You can't go up to it, check it out. So I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say about that. And our conversation with the senators next week ought to be very entertaining. So we'll see. Thanks to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Can't do the show without you, and we really appreciate everybody's comments and participation here in the conversation. If you missed any parts of the show, go back and check it out on Facebook and YouTube, and definitely check out the chats when you do. And like our brother Rome's Review says, please like and subscribe over there, leave a comment, continue the conversation there if you'd like to, and continue putting stuff in Friends of First Guy Omaha articles that you think are relevant to what it is that we need and stuff that we can talk about when we get together Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9. So, yep. Thanks again. Appreciate everyone. And you guys take care of yourselves. We'll see you Wednesday. Clarice Dombeck will be our special guest. Get your questions ready for her, and we will speak to you soon. In the meantime, between time,
peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any means